Thank you, Dr. Deepa.
Hi, good morning. I think my recorded video will be playing. I'm presenting the utility of bubble contrast echocardiography in diagnosing complex lesions. Bubble contrast echocardiography is an investigation with great potential. It is crucial to determine intracardiac and extracardiac right to left shunts. So in a normal contrast echo, no bubbles will appear in left atrium. Appearance of bubbles in the left side of heart always indicates a right to left shunt. And if it's delayed, it indicates an extracardiac right to left shunt. So this is how you prepare a saline contrast echocardiography for injection. 9 parts saline, 1 part air, or you can add a little bit of blood. You can mix a little bit of blood. So this will prevent the dispersion of microbubbles in the circulation. I shall just go through a few illustrative cases to just demonstrate how we utilize saline contrast echocardiography in various situations. We had a 1-year-old girl with cyanosis. Her antenatal echo showed heterotaxy with interrupted IVC. And then when she was born, she had a saturation of 85%. We repeated the echocardiogram, which showed normal intracardiac anatomy except for the interrupted IVC. As she grew older, her saturation dropped further to less than 70, and at 11 months of age, she was quite cyanosed. Then she was referred to us. We suspected her RPA to LA fistula, and to demonstrate that, we did a contrast echo. As you can see, contrast immediately fills the right side chambers, and after 3 cycles, it fills the left side chambers, which is very suggestive of diffuse pulmonary arteriovenous malformations. We tried to find the cause of this diffuse PABM, and she was diagnosed to have a congenital portosystemic shunt, which we closed with a vascular plug. A month later, she came back with a saturation of 93%. We repeated a saline contrast echo, and you can see that now there are so few bubbles in the left side of the heart. Pulmonary arteriovenous malformations can be graded based on the number of bubbles that appear in the left side of the heart. We had a 7-year-old boy who presented with cyanosis. Echocardiogram showed a small ostium secundum ASD and partial anomalous pulmonary venous connection of right and left upper pulmonary veins to right SVC. His saturation was 80%. There was no pulmonary artery hypertension. As you can see, none of this explains his desaturation. A peripheral vein saline contrast echocardiogram was done, which showed immediate appearance of bubbles in the left atrium because of the atrial septal defect. What then was the cause of cyanosis, and how do you utilize contrast echo in this situation? So peripheral contrast echo is useless, as we have already seen, because bubbles will immediately appear in the left atrium. And then we decided we'll do a cardiac cath to selectively inject saline contrast into the pulmonary arteries, because we had a strong suspicion of pulmonary arteriovenous malformations. So what happens when you inject selectively into the pulmonary artery? Bubbles should not appear in any atrial chamber, as the bubble should be destroyed by the pulmonary venous circulation, pulmonary capillary circulation. So if bubbles appear in either atrium, that is indicative of a pulmonary arteriovenous malformation. So we injected directly into the right and left descending branches of pulmonary arteries, and there was intense opacification in the left atrium, indicative of pulmonary arteriovenous malformations in the right and left lower zones. Then we injected directly into the right and left upper pulmonary artery branches that showed filling of the right atrium with saline contrast. That was also indicative of pulmonary arteriovenous malformations in the right and left upper lobes, because there was partial anomalous pulmonary venous drainage into the SVC, which was causing the bubbles to appear in the right atrium in this instance. So he was diagnosed with bilateral diffuse pulmonary arteriovenous malformations. He also had Abernathy malformation, which was closed with a vascular plug. His saturation improved to 95%. He's planned for AST surgical closure and PAPVC rerouting. A 51-year-old lady presented with cyanosis and grade 1 clubbing. There was no significant structural heart disease except for bilateral superior vena cava. We did a saline contrast echocardiography in the left arm to find out why she's having cyanosis. You can see that as soon as we injected the contrast, it is appearing immediately in the left atrium, and we diagnosed a totally unroofed coronary sinus into which the left SVC was connecting. And we also found that there was immediate filling of the right atrium also, presumably because the saline contrast echo was passing through the connecting vein to the right SVC and filling the right atrium. A 7-year-old boy with a history of stroke was referred to us. His saturation was 76%. Echocardiogram done outside was normal. Cardiovascular system examination was normal except for deep cyanosis and grade 4 clubbing. We found that on 2D echocardiogram, the right SVC seemed to be connecting to the left atrium, which is elegantly demonstrated by the contrast echo that we have done by injecting agitated saline through his right cubital vein. A 10-year-old girl with a diagnosis of double inlet left ventricle, fair ventricular function, moderate mitral regurgitation, underwent fenestrated Fontan, but in the immediate posterior period, no color flow was detected through the fenestration. The surgeons were a bit worried as her saturation was on the higher side, 92%. Again, we did a agitated saline contrast through her lower limb vein, and we found that there indeed was a flow through the fenestration as demonstrated by the appearance of bubbles in the atrium and the ventricles through the fenestration. 8-year-old boy was referred for ASD device closure. He had a bigger central osseum secundum ASD and a smaller 3 mm defect near the IVC rim, but his saturation was 92%. So at the time when we took him up for ASD device closure, we did a transesophageal echo and we also did a contrast echo in the saline contrast in the IVC, which showed that the eustachian valve is directing the IVC flow through the smaller defect into the left atrium that probably accounted for his mild desaturation, and the same bubble that went into the left atrium is coming back to the right atrium through the bigger ASD. A 12-year-old girl was referred for ASD device closure. A transesophageal echo showed a structure close to the atrial septum. We were not sure whether it is a prominent eustachian valve or a split atrial septum. Again, we did a saline contrast echo in the inferior vena cava, which showed the bubbles appearing between the two structures. That means that the anterior structure is the eustachian valve. If that were not the case, if it was a split atrial septum, this saline contrast would have appeared anterior to that structure. This algorithm has been published by Dr. Saurabh in his review on agitated saline contrast in echocardiography journal, and it shows clearly how you can interpret a saline echocardiography by determining where the bubbles first appear. So if it first appears in the left ventricle, you have to suspect a VSD pulmonary artery hypertension. If it first appears in the aorta, you have to suspect AP window or PDA with pulmonary hypertension. If it appears in the atrium, you have to determine which atrium it appears first. If it appears first in the left atrium, there are a handful of conditions like I've shown before, a right SVC to left atrium, left SVC with unroofed coronary sinus, or IVC to left atrium. If the bubbles appear in the right atrium, we have to note the time when they appear in the LA, whether it appears immediately, it could indicate an intracardiac shunt. If it appears after a few beats, it could indicate an extracardiac right to left shunt. I recommend that we have to form a differential diagnosis by history, clinical examination, and transthoracic echocardiogram before we perform a saline contrast echo. This will help us choose the site of injection based on the differential diagnosis, and it will also help us to choose the image where we can get the maximum information. We should note the path of bubbles with precision, put 2 and 2 together, and then it becomes very rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deepa, for